One rule in prison that everybody knows: sports overrules any and everything on TV. Yo, what's up with this, man? We was watching a football game, man. Why'd y'all change it, to drag racing or whatever? And you boys sit here and watch football all day long, every Sunday, and today we watching drag racing. I was the first one in the TV room, and I said what I said, and I can't take it back. If you don't like it, by God, then we can fight. Do something about it. Hold on, bro. You ain't gonna just talk to me all crazy, man. What's up, man? Let's get it then. Let's get it. Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again, Real Ken's TV and the House Like Kitchen Sinks. Oftentimes I talk about on my channel, one of the main things in prison to stay away from, or one of the main things that I see people really get into it over, is that television. Television in prison will get your wig split, your noodle pushed all the way backwards. You know what I mean? Or you'll end up doing that to someone else simply over a television. Now, the thing about Kentucky prisons is that you can have your own television. So, like, if you have the money, you can buy a 13-inch TV. At the time, they were like $220, $230. Take the TV back to your cell, to your dorm, whatever. Hook your headphones up. You in your own world. You in your own space. You ain't bothering nobody. Ain't nobody bothering you. It's such a lovely thing to have your own television. Particular instance, I never will forget. It was on Sunday during the fall. For y'all that like sports, Sunday during the fall is football season. In prison, there's a thing that says sports overrules everything else. It's just a known rule. Sports overrules everything else. It's just what it is. Especially, football, NFL, things like that. So, at any rate, we were in the TV room. It was probably, maybe about I'll say it was 2 black guys, myself and another black dude, and it was 5 other white dudes in the room. Watching the football game, everybody's just chilling or whatever. Ain't nobody really saying much, just watching the football game. Now, the TV room is not very big, so with 7 of us in there, it's nearly at capacity. It was a very small room. They had a flat screen. It was probably 42 inches, and they had a bench on one side of the wall, maybe 4 people could sit on, and then on the straight ahead, to where if you sitting on the other bench, it's a smaller bench, you're looking straight ahead, you're looking directly at the TV. That was pretty much the size of this recreation room, TV room rather. As I mentioned, it wasn't very large. So we're sitting in there, we watching the game or whatever. Well, they call count time. When they call count time, you have to go immediately to your dorm. Once they call count, you go to your dorm or whatever. They count for all the inmates that's supposed to be on the yard. So if it's supposed to be 600 inmates on the yard, 200 in this dorm, 150 in this dorm, and such and such. Once they account for, the 600 people, they clear count. Once they clear count, you can resume normal activity. Go back down to the TV room. Once we get back down to the TV room, now I come a little bit later. And the reason that I came a little bit later, because once they clear count, everybody just flies down to the TV room. Trying to get that seat, trying to get that position back that they already had. Well, I already have my own TV. So I've been watching the game in the dorm anyway. But sometimes, you get tired of, I'm not going to say you get tired. You just want to go out and mingle, kick it with people, watch the game or whatever. So I decided to go back down to the TV room. When I get back down to the TV room, there's a whole lot of fussing and chattering going on or what have you. Now, in this particular dorm, there was 3 levels. You got your main level. So when you first walk into the dorm, you own your main level. Then you can go upstairs, and you can go downstairs in the basement, in the dungeon. And the dungeon is pretty much where it all went down. There was a couple cameras down there, but it wasn't many. So if you want to handle your business down there and you get into it with somebody, you go down to the dungeon. They got a big old rec room to where the tables is at and the microwaves. And I think they might have a couple phones down there, something like that. So people's down there playing dominoes and spades and, just whatever they're wrecking. So you got that area, which is the rec room. And then, as I mentioned, you got the TV room. So when I go downstairs, they're going back and forth. And apparently one of the dudes, which was a white dude, he had rushed downstairs got to the TV room before anybody else and changed the channel. The rule was whoever's in the TV room first pretty much controls the remote control until he leaves out. Well, the problem with that rule is when they call count time, that rule really shouldn't apply because, think about it. The black dude was way upstairs on the third floor, on the top floor. He had already been in the room first watching football. Plus, it was already a known factor that football on Sundays is just what it was. The white dude, he wasn't caring nothing about that. He rushed downstairs, changed the channel. So when he changes the channel, they watching something like drag racing or something like that. You know what I mean? You know when the cars, they line up and they pull off and they go about, I don't know, 10 seconds and the parachute shoots out of the back. They watching that. So everybody else that's trying to watch football is like, you know, they looking around, but they ain't really seeing anything. So when I come back, you know, I come back down to the room or whatever, I noticed that they had changed the channel. So I'm like, man, what's up with this? So the white dude, man, he's like, what you mean, what's up with this? I'm like, shoot, man, what happened to the game? I thought y'all was watching football, man. You know, what happened to the football game? He was like, man, you know how it goes, man. First one down here, you know, I was down here first. I was getting ready to go back and forth with him, but I realized ain't no sense of me going back and forth with dude. You know what I'm saying? I got my own TV. I can just go up to my dorm, you know, get in my little space and watch the game all I want to watch. I ain't even going to argue over no TV. So I guess by me igniting it, by saying something, one of the black dudes, he was a Muslim. His name was Jeffrey. So Jeffrey's like, yeah, man, it's kind of messed up that you changed the channel. So the white dude, and it's not fair for me to say Jeffrey's name, but not say the white dude's name. I just don't remember the white dude's name. So we're going to call him Big Country, man, because he was a big country looking white dude, respectfully. He was like, man, you know, I was down here first. You wasn't here. Jeffrey's like, yeah, but I live on the third floor, bro. You live on the second floor. Only thing you got to do is come right out your dorm, go down the stairs, and then you here. So they going back and forth about it. I don't say anything else. I'm just there. You know, I'm watching or whatever. So the white dude jumps up off the bench and was like, because like there was a bench, but like on the bench, you know how the back of the bench, they have like the back that you hold your back up or whatever. He's sitting on the top part of it. You know what I'm saying? On the back part of the bench or whatever. So his legs is actually where you're supposed to be sitting at. So he jumps down. He was like, well, shoot, by God, if you don't like it, man, you do something about it. If you don't like me changing the channel, do something about it. Jeffrey's like, look, man, I ain't with all that, man, but you ain't gonna just, talk reckless to me. You ain't gonna talk crazy to me. A couple more words exchange. The white dude's getting aggressive. Big Country, I'm sorry. Country's getting aggressive. Jeffrey has no, he has to jump up now. You know what I mean? So they get to fight. They fight and everybody clears out of the room because, like I said, the room is so small. Everybody clears out of the room. They fighting hard. I'm standing right there. The other black dude's standing there. And the other four white guys, they're standing there just as well. They fighting. They thumping. I'm talking about, man, they going at it, man. Really wasn't nobody winning, wasn't nobody losing. They both just fighting hard, and the fight goes on for a good 5 minutes. Finally, you can tell that neither one of them wanted to fight anymore. They weren't scared of each other. It was just one of those things where you could tell they were just they were winded. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of out of breath or whatever. So Country, he leaves out of the room, man. But before he leaves out of the room, is it over with? Is this done? Jeffrey's like, shit, it's whatever, man. I mean, it's done if it's done to you. If for me, it's done. But if it's, what's up with you? Is it done? Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm cool. Okay, they didn't shake hands or nothing. Country leaves out of the room. Jeffrey goes in, his dorm or whatever, cleans himself up. He comes back, change the channel back to football or whatever. Everybody thought that situation was over with. Now, the interesting thing about Jeffrey, let me give you all a little insight on Jeffrey. Jeffrey was Muslim. He was a Muslim dude. And I don't know. I have to really be careful because I don't want to disrespect anybody, and I don't want to disrespect, what the Muslims do or what they represent or whatever. But I know that they don't eat pork. I do know that. a couple weeks prior, Jeffrey, okay, so let me tell you all this. I got to tell you this. In prison, there's all type of hustles. So you got dudes that steal food out of the kitchen, because what happens is they'll order food, but they don't serve it to the inmates. They'll leave it for like the COs, the guards and stuff to eat. And oftentimes they would take the food home. But if they don't take it home, they would eat it. So like this particular instance, they had some pork chops. Well, you know, inmates, man, they gonna find a way. So dude was stealing pork chops out of the kitchen. He would steal them for whoever was, you know, buying them or whatever. And he would cook the pork chops, you know, fry them or whatever. And he would sell, you know, pork chops or whatever. Barbecue pork chops. Oh my God, they were so good. Some of the best cooks are inmates. Some of the best talents you'll find is in prison. One of the Muslim brothers, he walks around the corner. When he walks around the corner, he sees Jeffrey in the cut eating the barbecue pork chop. He got barbecue sauce all on his mouth. You can't deny it. He's smashing the pork chop. So the brother's like, bro, what are you doing? Jeffrey's like, man, I'm hungry, man. You know, I had to do it, man. I had to have one of these pork chops. So I guess, you know, well, evidently, the dude that caught Jeffrey eat the pork chop, he took it back to the brothers or whatever. Again, I don't know how they reprimanded him. I don't know anything about Muslims or you know, and I say that respectfully. I've never been Muslim, so I don't know anything as far as like how they go about disciplinary actions and handling certain things or what have you. But I know Jeffrey wasn't in good standings at that particular time because he got caught smashing the pork chop. And not only did he get caught smashing the pork chop, he continued to smash once the dude seen him. He was like, shoot, I was already caught. I might as well went on and, you know, tore it up. So, as I mentioned, you know, Jeffrey, he was kind of, I don't know what was going on with them at that particular time. So they fought, as I mentioned. A couple days later, actually it was the next day, out on the yard, I'm in the weight pile. Weight pile in prisons outside, it's like a shack. There's no sides to it or anything like that. It's just it's a shack, and the ground is like a dirt floor or whatever. Got all type of weights or whatever. Everything's free weights or whatever, but that's all that it is. So I'm in the weight pile. I look over. I see two dudes going at it, but they're not physically fighting yet. They just kind of, you know, going back and forth or whatever. It's Jeffrey and one of the other dudes. One of the dirty white boys. Next thing I know, they jumping. Literally, they jumping Jeffrey. Jeffrey, he's trying to fight back. He's fighting hard or whatever. He ends up picking up one of the plates or whatever, probably like a 10 or something. Boom, he splits one of the dudes. So when he splits one of the dudes, he's busted wide open, man. He gets his noodle pushed all the way backwards. I'm talking about, man, he's split. So Jeffrey's like, yeah, what's up? He got he still got the weight. What's up? You want some? It ends up spilling outside of the weight pile. So now they fighting on the outside or whatever. Well, the dirty white boys, they seen what was going on. They immediately run over because they over in the sandbox. It was like a volleyball net, but it was in sand. It wasn't like on regular, you know, grass or anything. It was in sand. So you got to take your shoes off and your socks off, and if you don't have on shorts, you pull your khakis up or whatever. And, you know, most dudes, they take their shirts off or whatever, and they out there playing volleyball. I ain't never played no volleyball. It was their thing. So they see what's going on. They come over. They rush Jeffrey. It's about 4 or 5 of them on Jeffrey. A couple of Muslim brothers, they see what's going on. They run over. Once a couple of them run over, more and more come. Man, it was like WWF, man. I'm talking about it was an all-out just brawl, man, a war. Like they fighting. It was probably, I don't want to exaggerate. I want to say it was probably 7 or 8 Muslim dudes and probably 11 or 12 of them dirty white boys. Now, let me tell you about them dirty white boys, man. Don't let the name fool you as far as, man, they were some cool dudes. You see what I'm saying? They wasn't no racist dudes. They wasn't, if they were, I didn't know any of them to be racist. They was cool. They was all just from one area. and they just went by the Dirty White Boys. That wasn't the actual name that they went by, but they had a name that they went by, and they was just cool, but they just didn't play no games, man. If you run up on them, man, you gonna get your issue, man. It didn't matter if you black, white, another white group, Mexican, whatever. You run up on them, you gonna get your issue. See, prison in Kentucky, there's not really a lot of gangs here. Are there gangs? Yeah, there's gangs. Don't get me wrong. You got your Crips, your Bloods, your Vice Lords. You have these gangs, but most of the time they call them cars. So you might have you might have Lexington, you might have Louisville, you might have Bowling Green. But see, the thing about Louisville's so big, you got different sections of Louisville, Kentucky. So you might have West End, they all kick it with each other, they're a car. Then you have East End, they got their own car. Then you might have, you see what I'm saying? They got just different areas of Louisville to where they might have 4, 5, 6 different cars. And that's how Kentucky prisons are. You don't really have a whole lot of, you got the Mexicans that hang with each other or whatever. Then, you got the Aryan Nation, you got the skinheads. You have all of those things, but everybody's just divided into their individual cars. So they fighting, they going at it. And the COs, they see it. They come out on the yard, but they really can't break it up because, I'm not going to say they can't break it up, but there's so many people involved, they not really trying to just jump in it. So you got what's called a tower, a guard's tower. Got a CO that stands at the top of the guard tower. He keeps a rifle on him at all times. At all times, he keeps that rifle. When he fires, he's going to fire one warning shot. When he fires that warning shot, that means everybody hit the deck immediately. Not immediately, immediately. Fire, boom. When he fires it, everybody just instantly. Because if you don't hit that deck, you might get shot. You really might get shot if you don't, once you hear that warning shot. Fires it off, everybody hits the deck. Police, they already out there or whatever. Now they tough, they talking crazy or whatever. But yeah, all these dudes was fighting. Y'all didn't want to jump in, but now y'all tough and, y'all speaking your mind or whatever. So they end up getting all the dudes that was involved, in the fight or whatever. Obviously, they don't remember every last one of them, but they got the majority of them. And, cuffed them and took them to the hole. When a situation like that happens, nobody got stabbed, even though a dude got split with the weights. It wasn't a significant injury or what have you. So typically what they'll do is they'll make you sign it's like a statement. And basically what it's saying is, I don't have a problem with being back out on the yard with these dudes. Even though whatever went on, I'm cool to be on the yard with these dudes. So everybody signed a statement. Dudes did like 15, 20 days in the hole. I want to say 15 days in the hole. And they got back out on the yard. They came back out on the yard. It was over with. It was squashed. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't anything else there was to be said. They handled their business. They fought or whatever. Like I said, nobody got significantly injured. So everybody was able to come back out on the yard. That was a wild day, man. That was a wild day because I've never, ever seen anything like that as far as that many people. I've been a part of a brawl before. It wasn't in prison. I'm going to tell you all about that too. I was at the strip club. But we're going to talk about that, at a later date. I've been a part of a brawl and I've seen a brawl, but to actually just see that many people fighting, like on wrestling, man, them dudes was going at it, man. I'm talking about, man was thumping. When you see stuff like that, it in a sense, it kind of divides the prison. Now, the reason I say it divides the prison, because now you got the white dudes, they hype. Because they done seen other white dudes whoop some black dudes. You know what I'm saying? Or whoop up on some black dudes, or whoop up on some Mexicans, or whatever. So all the white dudes, they really, really hype. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, what have I gotten myself into? Because I didn't know. I was initially the one that said something. I didn't know if I was going to be a part of it. at some point, because I was initially, and I should have kept my mouth shut. I shouldn't have said anything. Like I said, I had my own TV. I should have just went on and just went straight back to the dorm and got in my little space, my little area, and watched TV, but I didn't. What's up with this, man? What's up? Y'all ain't watching the game? So when I say something, I guess Jeffrey feel compelled to, take it from there or whatever. Crazy things that you see in prison, man. Crazy. Prison is a very, very violent place. And I'm very shocked that nobody ended up getting hurt really bad, if not killed. But it was just one of those things where people was on the yard. I don't think they was really trying to take it there and grab their knives or whatever. I don't know if people even had their knives on them. Oftentimes, if you got a knife, you got it somewhere close to you on the yard. So it's buried somewhere or it's hidden somewhere. But some people just carry it on them. But it's dangerous because they do random shakedowns. So you walking, hey, you, come here. Give me your ID. Put your hands up. Turn around. And they shake you down right there on the yard. So oftentimes people just don't keep their knives on them. But I tell you what, man. I wish I could have been there and seen the look on Jeffrey's face when his Muslim brother caught him eating that pork chop. That's crazy. I never knew exactly what happened to Jeffrey at that point. I think he ended up getting transferred somewhere. So I really didn't see him much longer after that. But if I ever run into Jeffrey, I'm going to ask him, man, whatever happened when they caught you eating that pork chop, man? Real Kens TV, man. Hopefully you liked the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And be sure to hit that post notification. Anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive. Real Kens TV.